Barry Bryson here. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. We're continuing our study of Matthew's Gospel today, and we're in chapter 17, and we're just going to read 2 verses, verses 22 and 23. Jesus has been on the Mount of Transfiguration with Peter, James, and John, Moses, and Elijah. He's come down from the mountain, and there's a multitude gathered. A crowd has gathered because there's an epileptic boy, a severely epileptic young man, and the father brought his son to Jesus and the disciples to be healed, and the disciples weren't able to do that healing, and Jesus is just about lost his patience with them. And after Jesus had healed the boy, we saw some progress yesterday. We're seeing progress in the apostles in this chapter. Peter, James, and John understood without having to have it explained to them that when Jesus was talking about Elijah, he was talking about John the Baptist. And after the rebuke that Jesus gave to the other apostles, they came to Jesus and said, explain this to us. How did we not do this right? Teach us. Talk us through this. And Jesus told them, this is about one thing only, the littleness of your faith. And I think we're going to see some more progress in these 2 verses today. While they were gathering together in Galilee, Jesus said to them, the Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men. They will kill him, and he will be raised on the 3rd day. And they were deeply grieved. Now, the last time Jesus said this plainly, in just the last chapter, Peter, who had just made the confession that Jesus was the Messiah, had rebuked Jesus and was in the process of continuing to rebuke him and saying, it's not going to be this way, when Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. And I've often wondered, as I mentioned when we studied that passage, is he calling, because the word Satan can mean the devil, but it also can just mean your opponent, your adversary. And he's saying, is he just saying to Peter, you set yourself up against me? Why are you taking the field as my enemy? Or is he speaking directly to the devil, who is influencing Peter, and saying to the devil directly, this is from you, and I know it's from you, and I'm not listening to you? And maybe it's both. But at that time, whenever Peter said that to Jesus, whenever Jesus said that, Peter reacted so violently against it. But here there is no reaction other than them being deeply grieved. No one protests. They're no longer questioning that what Jesus says is going to happen. They're just grieved at it. And yet, when the events take place, they are not prepared for them. And they seem completely taken off guard, even though Jesus has told them way ahead of time what was going to happen. I think this is key, and I think there's a lesson in this that we need to pay attention to. Jesus has told us what is going to happen as well, how the end is going to be, and how we're not going to be expecting it when it arrives, and what we need to do to be prepared for it, and yet we don't listen either. And when, big moments happen in our lives, moments that we could easily have foreseen had we taken the time to think about things, seem to always take us off guard. And I just worry myself, about that human tendency, not only in the people I care about, but in everybody, even in myself as well, because we don't listen. We're not good listeners. This time they did listen, and they were deeply grieved. And I think that's progress. They're not where they need to be, and they won't be where they need to be until the Holy Spirit descends upon them in Acts chapter 2. But they're making some progress. Well, today I have taken up just 5 minutes of your time. And so over these last 3 years, I think this is only the second time I've kept my promise and made this 5 good minutes with the Word. We'll see you next time.